So everyone, welcome back to another episode of My Life Fantasy Football Talk Show, our Fpl Yathu mini league talk show, whereby we give you different tips, updates, analysis on how you can better your team in FPL. You're with me, Zoitin Zande, and this is our second episode. After this is our second episode, and this episode comes after Gameweek 1. Our first episode, we're just introducing the rules and different aspects of this show this year. Whilst our second episode, we're going to give you tips. We're going to give you a recap of how Game Week 1 went, and then we're going to suggest some players that you can buy in Game Week 2. So stay with me. First of all, Game Week 1, guys. Game Week 1 was a tricky game week because we all know when you're coming from pre-season, everyone has high expectations with okay, this team will perform like this team will perform like this player will perform like this player will perform like this. And mostly we've been taken with surprise with some of the performances. Like, for example, we didn't expect Manchester United to lose 2-0, but then it happened and they lost 2-0. We didn't expect Spurs to lose 3-0 with the signings they made. At least maybe we thought they would force a draw. Now the league is unfolding and we can see which player to get, which player to leave, and which player to consider as a differential. So the first thing that I want to talk about today is the players that performed well last game week. The first player that performed well last game week was João Pedro. João Pedro performed well last week, scored 2 goals. And I want to talk only about João Pedro. I also talk about the Chelsea attack. They have João Pedro, Cole Palmer, and Morgan Rogers. These guys had a nice performance, and I think with the way these guys are clicking, you can easily see which player to pick. You can either pick Morgan Rogers, Cole Palmer, or João Pedro, or even pick all of them depending on who you want. But that's one combination of players that I saw that you can pick in your fantasy team. Another combination of players that you can pick in your fantasy team is Arsenal players. You can either go for their defense, and the defense you don't have to spend much on Gabriel and Raya. Clearly, there are good options like Calafiori, we have Ben White, good options. Gabriel, I just think is too expensive, and Raya is too expensive too. Whilst in the attack, in Arsenal's attack, we can look at Bukayo Saka. Bukayo Saka started the season well. We can also look at Kai Havertz, a good pick. So, apart from that, we can also pick Everton assets. Everton this season looks good because in the last game, the striker scored Thierry Barry and Kevin Dusbyho. Kevin Dusbyho has picked up from the form he left last season. So in Game Week 1, it showed us that we can also pick who's this? Kevin Dusbyho. Another duo that I can suggest to you guys to pick is Szoboszlai. We clearly saw that Szoboszlai is the one who will be taking set pieces, corners, free kicks, and penalties. He took the penalty in the last game. So Dominic Szoboszlai is one player that you are certified that is going to be taking penalties. So this is just a few of the recap we had from our Game Week 1. Now, going into Game Week 2, who should be our picks? Who should we consider getting? Who should we consider dropping? In match week 2, the first player that I would consider getting in my team is none other than Bukayo Saka. If you don't have Bukayo Saka, guys, get him now. Bukayo Saka this season is going to be instrumental to Arsenal's success. Yes. I know many people would not opt to pick Bukayo Saka, but then Bukayo Saka is one guy who is going to help in Arsenal's success. And apart from that, Bukayo Saka, I think currently he's an affordable asset. He's an affordable asset. He goes at 9.5 million. So we can weigh him with Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes is 12 million, but then Bukayo Saka is 9.5. So you can pick Bukayo Saka. Another player I'm telling you to go with this weekend is between Cole Palmer or Morgan Rogers. These two midfielders are in great shape, good form. So you can either go for Cole Palmer or Morgan Rogers. Good price. And another player that I can suggest you guys to buy or to keep is Bruno Fernandes. I know Bruno Fernandes in his first game, they lost 2-0. But then in their second game, they're going against Ipswich. And Man United has started with easy games. It's just a shame that they lost to Hull City. But then I think in the Ipswich game, them being at home, they'll bounce back and win this game. So Bruno Fernandes is one player that I'm telling you guys not to sell, but you should keep. Now going to the defenders on who you can look to get. My first option is Givardio. Givardio looks good in brilliant form. Despite Manchester City's defense looking kind of shaky, but then we all know Enzo Maresca's formation that it favors wing backs, and Givardio is a good wing back. Another player that you guys can get is Calafiori. Calafiori in good shape, and Calafiori comes at a good price of 5.6 million. So instead of spending money on Gabriel, on a guy who can just score you DEFCON, you can spend money on Calafiori because Calafiori offers DEFCON, offers assists, he offers clean sheets, and he also offers goals. So Ricardo Calafiori is one defender that you guys can get. Another defender that you guys can get is Ben White. Ben White from Arsenal. Ben White is in good form. Last week he scored about 11 points, if not 12 points. So Ben White is one person that I would advise you guys to get. Ben White got 11 points against Coventry. And the last defender I would advise you guys to get is a Leeds defender. You can get Raydon. Raydon last season was good, and this season he started off good too. They won away and kept the clean sheet, which is brilliant. So Raydon is one defender that I would tell you guys to get. Now on your attackers, my first option is João Pedro. The guy's in form. He didn't play in the World Cup. Looks hungry. João Pedro is the first attacker you guys should get. If you don't want to get João Pedro, you can go for Barry. Barry plays for Everton. This guy, his form started picking up towards the end of last season. And this season, I think he's entered with the same form. So Barry is one player that you should get. Another striker that you can get is Erling Haaland. If you have the money in your bag, get Erling Haaland. Yeah, but then if you don't want to get Erling Haaland too, it's fine. There are many better options than Erling Haaland. And the last striker I can pick at a good price is McBurney for Hull City. We saw what he did versus Manchester United. Very instrumental in attacking, going forward, and defending. So McBurney is one guy that you guys should consider getting. So with all being said, which ones look like the favorable fixtures this weekend? You can pick players from Manchester United because they have a favorable fixture. Looking at FDR, it's a difficult reading. Manu has one of the easiest games going against Ipswich. They're playing at home. Besides that, the Liverpool game too looks favorable for Liverpool. Nottingham Forest lost and they're not in good shape, but then Liverpool looks good. And then another fixture that looks favorable is Chelsea versus Brighton. I know Brighton won 4-0, but then Chelsea looks in good shape, good form going against Brighton. So these are some favorable fixtures for some players that you have. And maybe the Aston Villa and Arsenal game too looks very favorable. Yeah, Aston Villa and Arsenal. Aston Villa is not in good. They're really bad right now. That team is bleeding. So Aston Villa and Arsenal, another favorable match that you can pick Arsenal players. So this is all we had for you in this episode, coming from Game Week 1 and then going into Game Week 2 as we prepare for Game Week 2. Prepare thoroughly so that next week, every fortnight, we give you the standings of our mini league. But take note that if you did not join the WhatsApp group and did not write your name on the list, even if you're number one, your name doesn't appear on the list, you do not qualify. So thank you very much for being with us today. You're with me, your boys, waiting Sunday, and see you in the next episode. All the best in FPL Match Week 2.